Do you have expectations for this fight financially? I mean, obviously a great co-main event as well. We're not even talking about that yet, but I mean, do you expect this to be the biggest fight of the year and maybe one of the biggest of all time?
I think it's the biggest fight we've ever done. To this point, it will be the biggest fight ever.
Do you think it could approach UFC 100 numbers in terms of fight rates?
I think it's going to beat it. I think it's going to beat it. I'd be shocked if this didn't beat it. You guys know, you were all a part of it. 30 days, maybe more after that fight, it's all people talked about. Even mainstream media were talking about that fight when it was over. And it was so fun and exciting that night. And that's why I say, if you just put yourself, like I love fights, so if you put yourself, I can think of the Jones-Gustafsson fight that I was just at, which was fucking unbelievable. Just the energy in that place that night, watching that fight happen. Can you imagine when the lights drop, you know, when we do the and put both their heads pop up, and then we get ready for the main event, and it's going to be crazy, man. It's going to be crazy. It's one of those fights that I want to be there live for that fight. It's going to be fucking insane.
Can you talk to us a little bit about the Pettis and Josh Thompson matchup and what made you go with Josh Thompson?
We thought he deserved it. We thought he deserved it, and we gave him the shot. And I think it's going to be a great fight. You know, both those guys fight a lot alike. You know, Thompson's 100 miles an hour, comes forward. I think that should be a really good one.
Do you have any plans for Benson Henderson or TJ Grant, or is there a possibility?
TJ Grant's hurt.
Has he spoke to you? Is he worried about his title position?
I'm sure he is. I'm sure he's bummed out. You know, twice now in a row. Yeah. But you know,
what do you say to a guy like that when something like that?
It happens. You know, look what happened to Pettis. You know, who else just went through this? Somebody else just went through this. Look at Dominic Cruz. I mean, he's still the champion, but you know, these things happen. Look at Barao. Barao, we really have all. Me, you, the fans, really overlook Renan Barao and how fucking great this kid really is. And somebody asked a question the other night, you know, do you think you're not getting the respect because it's the interim title? Well, he's beating all the guys that Dominic Cruz would have been fighting if he was here. So he really has flown under the radar this whole time, and I got dope slapped on Saturday about how great, you know, I was like, holy shit, this kid. I started looking through his stats and going, fucking 8 years? This guy hasn't beaten 8 years.
He's on top 10 guys in a row.
He's won 21 fights in a row. He won the title and has defended it. Wow. Yeah.
Is there any regret on your front for keeping that interim tag for as long as you have? Mostly for the most part.
There's no regret because I like Dominic, and it's almost I felt so bad for this kid. Ultimate Fighter happens. He's supposed to fight Uriah, pops his knee on the show training, and was supposed to get a piece of pay-per-view on the Anderson Silva, Chael Sonnen, you know what I mean, rematch. That's I'm not kidding you, that's a fucking lottery ticket. It's like jumping up and going, holy shit, I fucking won. And then where'd my ticket go? I lost my fucking ticket. And there's no proof that he had the ticket. You know what I mean? That's literally what it's like. He might never have the opportunity to make that kind of money again for the rest of his life. You know? So.
Vanderlei and Chalzani, they keep calling each other, even if Chalzani already has a fight, and Vanderlei said that it's gonna bet $100,000 on himself for this fight. Do you think this fight can happen like next year? Because he said he could fight from January.
Well, these guys definitely want to fight each other, and I'm never one to not let guys fight each other. So if they want to fight, we'll figure it out. It's a matter of when. And I mean, Vanderlei's still hurt. Vanderlei's not going to be.
He said that he's going to start. He already started training, and he could be ready for January.
For January? Yeah, January, February is when he was supposed to be ready.
Dana, what's your thoughts been on the Ultimate Fighter so far?
I love the Ultimate Fighter. I'm further in it than you guys are, so it's a great season.
What can we expect coming up? I mean,
more of the
away?
crazy shit you've seen already, and great fights.
And have you talked to Rhonda about like how she's been portrayed and how she?
We talk all the time. We talk every few days, if not every day.
Is she upset by the way she's coming off, as she predicted before the show aired?
You know, she gets a little. I told her, you know her. What? That's her. That's who she is. That is who she is. Why are you going to be fucking worried about who you are? And you know, the chick that you see on this show is why women are in the UFC right now. Period. That's who she is, and what are you going to do? You are who you are. What do you give a shit? People like, oh, I used to love her, now I don't. Who gives a fuck? What, you're gonna date her? You're gonna marry her? You're gonna sweep her off her feet, take her away, and set her up for the rest of her life? You don't love her anymore. Who gives a shit? You know what I mean? Oh well. You know, it's ridiculous.
The first week of rankings, the ratings probably weren't what you were expecting, but then you saw a rebound in the second week. Are you satisfied with the direction of the ratings?
Well, that's you know, when you do the reality show, that's what it does. You have episodes that go up and they go down, and I'll give you another example. The ratings just came out for the prelims for Saturday. It came out this morning. It's like we did 700 and something thousand. We're on a new network. This is how it works. This is how it worked when we went to with FX too. We went to FX, and you got to do all the work to get the people back over onto the new network, know where we are, and it takes time. And yeah, I mean, am I happy with the ratings? We're the highest rated thing on that network by 8 to 10 times. Yes, I'm thrilled with what we're doing over there.
How closely have you been able to follow updates on Matt Grice as a promotion? Are you guys planning on it?
His wife keeps me updated on what's going on. It's looking good. It's looking better than it was, and you know, they took him off the feeding tubes, and he hasn't woke up yet. From last I heard from her, he hadn't woken up yet, but it went from the worst diagnosis possible to looks like he might come out of this okay. You know, I don't know if he'll ever fight again, but he'll come out alive and hopefully be able to live a good quality of life.
Do you, I don't want to say like shower money on him or something, or is that, but typically that's a situation where you kind of take care of a guy. And
yeah.
Has the promotion planned anything in terms of what his future looks like?
Yeah, we did. We did. So I don't ever talk about that shit, you know what I mean? But we did.
So when you do stuff like that, how frustrated does it make you when somebody like Jacob Volkman is going at you on Twitter?
It doesn't frustrate me because, you know, the thing is, I know who we are. I know what we do. You know, I don't have to go say it in the public. I don't have to tell everybody what I do and how much I give and what I do here and there. You know, if you look at the last however many years, 13 years we've been in this business. Thousands of guys have come and go, right? You got the same 3 fucking idiots out there. It's the same guys. It's not like, you know, Volkman's new. You know, Volkman, when I read Volkman stuff, it's you see what I told him on Twitter the other day? If you spent as much time working as you do bitching about what you don't have, you wouldn't have to bitch about what you don't have, you lazy motherfucker. Go to work. You didn't make it, kid. What do you want me to tell you? You didn't make it. What should we have done? Paid you? Nobody even knows who the fuck you are. You've been fighting forever. You got 1,000 followers on Twitter, and you're out crying about what you don't fucking have. If people wanted to see you fight, we wouldn't be having this fucking conversation. That's the real world. Okay? What am I supposed to do? Just bring everybody in and start fucking handing out money? Is that how it works for you guys? I mean, you guys have been doing this for fucking... Yeah, only yeah, he didn't even show up today, right? That lazy bastard. He gets paid the most and isn't even here.
Dana, going back to the Gustafsson and Jones fight, what was your reaction during the first, second, third round? I mean, were you kind of amazed as the fight progressed, or
for the what?
The first, second, and third round. I mean, after the
Jones and Gustafsson.
Yeah.
I was blown away. I was going crazy. I was pumped up, and it was one of those fights that, I mean, if you're a fight fan, that's why you're a fight fan, you know, and to be there live. Sure, there's so many different ways to watch that fight. I keep thinking about this. Obviously, when you have people over your house and you're having a party, it's fun to watch a great fight, but I've always heard that the bar experience is good. Like if you go to Buffalo Wild Wings and places like that, it's supposed to be unbelievable. you know, like all these people together and everybody's going crazy during the fight, and being in that arena that night, it was just, I was saying to the guys yesterday, I had Lawrence Fishburne was behind me, Dead Mouse was there, a bunch of guys from the Toronto Raptors were there, and they were going crazy, man. People were grabbing me and pulling me. Everybody was like high-fiving, standing ovations at the end of every round, right until the fight started again. And it was an awesome night of fights. And like Toronto, people that live in Toronto on Twitter were just like, I can't even fucking believe what I just saw. I can't believe that I was here tonight and this just happened. And you know, you hope in your career to see, you know, fuck, if you see 5 or 6 of those in your lifetime, you're pumped, you know?
The evaluation seems to be one of two ways. Either A, Jones showed he has weaknesses and that was a bad game, you know, performance by him, or B, he showed this heart of a champion and he got tested. Which side do you fall on?
Which is always going to be the case. Every time I got Anderson Silva didn't lose one fight in the UFC in how many years? It was the pound for pound greater. He loses one fight and you should have saw the bricks of negativity that came down in his head. It's just like, it's what I always tell the guys, you know, when we do these fighter meetings and stuff like this. Unfortunately, we live in a sport where you're only as good as your last fight. Everything you could accomplish shit to go from here to fucking Los Angeles, right? And your last fight is what they will judge you on until your next fight.
You know, one thing I've seen on the internet that I didn't really think of the night of Toronto was some fans are saying that that's the type of fight where you just hope it doesn't take away a little bit of those guys, you know, just because it was such a war.
I talked to John Jones the next day, and John Jones, first of all, one thing that always happens with fighters, especially guys that are in wars, I don't even call them, they don't want to hear anything, man. They want to go home. They haven't been home in weeks. They want to go home with their family. They're banged up. They feel like they got hit by a bus, and they just want to heal and relax and whatever. When I talked to John Jones the following day, Sunday, you should have heard how excited he was about that fight. He said, that was my favorite fight I've ever had. I love that fight. I learned so much about myself and about fighting and about everything from that fight. Like, he loved the fight. He was fired up.
It must have been like the worst flight ever.
I know, man. It was crazy. I mean, I don't remember the last time that we had a fight where both guys